everybody, how you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt. I'm Petey.
Yo, I'm Grandpa.
I'm Kylie.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
Hey guys.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. Right now, we are getting the farm market all finished with setting up. The cooler has been looking a little light today, but that's okay. Dad went to the wholesaler this morning and picked up some much needed produce. We still have a few minutes till open, but in the meantime, we're just making sure everything is filled up and looks nice. Because we're getting further and further away from peak vegetable harvest, these pallets that we have here are starting to look a little on the thin side, but we also have changed over into a lot of apples. So we do have more apples on these tables as opposed to vegetables that used to be there. Now we still have a lot of produce, but it's just neat how as the year changes, so does what we have in the farm market. So for the morning, as I've mentioned, we've been getting the farm market all set up. Dad was at the wholesaler. However, right when Dad got back, he ran down over the hill because he had some fill to move around. Now, the guys that were bringing this fill the other day, we were expecting a little bit more, but they just stopped early. They're gonna continuously be bringing stuff today. Whatever the case, if they're gonna keep bringing fill, we're gonna be taking it. We got this whole top area cleared off, which looks really, really nice. We got it flattened. And the type of material that they're bringing us, it packs really, really well. So this is gonna help out a lot with our drainage. And the more material that they bring us, we're just gonna keep extending it out. We got plenty of places to put fill. So the more they bring, the more we'll take and the more we'll use. I tell you what, when Daniel sees all this tractor work that he missed, he's gonna be sad. Well, what do you think?
I don't know, what do you think?
I think it looks pretty good, and it's packing really hard. That's what I was hoping it would do.
Yeah, and we had rain and it didn't get muddy, so maybe it'll clear up.
Yeah, that looks good. I think there's a lot of rocks in it, so I think it's gonna drain well.
I think we need a load in here so we can taper it so the water goes out and around.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And I'm not the only person that thinks that. The cattle have been watching you. I can imagine they're saying good job too. So far, everything is looking really good. Now, we are expecting about 2 more days of this fill to be coming in. The only thing is, we're not 100% sure how much it's gonna be. From what we've seen so far, it looks like it's gonna be a lot more. They brought quite a few loads already this morning, and that's just gonna continue throughout the morning. But like I said, whatever they'll bring, we'll take. Dad just got back from the wholesaler like 20 minutes ago, so we haven't really got his truck all unloaded. So we're gonna get his truck unloaded and then we'll go down and feed animals. Something we have to do right away whenever we get produce in or anything else is make sure that we don't have any orders. In the past, we have gotten stuff, put it right out, and then realized it was for an order, and that just causes headaches you don't need. I've already checked all the orders, so we should be set, but now I got everything moved off the truck. All the cattle are really curious about all the fill that's coming in. We've just about got this whole top section level off, then we're gonna be pushing everything this way. So this whole area behind me, we're gonna have leveled off and it's gonna drain a lot nicer because now we'll have the material to move everything around. We haven't had time to do it just yet, but now we're gonna get working on feeding animals. Dad's gonna be moving soil around for right now, but I'm gonna go up and grab the silage, then we'll get some grain. The cattle that we moved into greenhouse number 5 are doing really good. This new calf feed that we've put our calves onto has been helping out a lot. They've been putting on a lot of weight. Calves at this age, what we're really looking for is just a feed that they enjoy eating to kind of encourage them to eat more as they get larger. Now, for the most part, these animals are going to put all their weight on by means of grass or silage. The grain is just something that we add in a little bit more. Once we finish them out in the other pen, we will add a little more grain to their diet. But for the most part, it's grain and silage. But when they're young like this, we're trying to encourage them to put on a little bit more weight. And the grain that we're providing does that.
Very fresh. They're moms. Yeah. They're great moms.
Back up, back up, back up. Come on. We're trying to get everything fed, but we're also trying to stay on top of getting all this fill moved around so it doesn't get too built up. We would have been done with feeding about 30 minutes ago, but the plant inspector was here and she had brought some people with her. She was just showing them around. They're changing things around a little bit, and she was helping one of her bosses appreciate what the area is like and what she does for work. Now, most of the time when an inspector comes around, everybody's like, "Oh, inspector, oh no, what's gonna happen?" Because people are always so worried about anything bad that could happen. But what we always tell the inspectors is come out as much as you want. Please inspect, because if they find an issue before we do, well, they can help us to control the problem. So because we have that relationship with the inspectors and the plant inspector in particular, she has saved our butt many times because she doesn't write us up. She doesn't say anything negative. She just lets us know if there's an issue coming. She'll also come around and tell us, hey, this is what the other farmers have been dealing with, and this is something you need to watch out for. As farmers, it's very important for us to have good relationships with all the inspectors in the area for a number of reasons. One, they're not gonna give us a hard time. If they do find a problem, they're gonna tell us about it. They're not gonna be rude. They're not gonna give us any issues. Now, if it's a big problem, they'll let us know. They're not gonna be our friend about it. They have a job to do. We have a job to do. And it's all about keeping everybody safe and healthy. With the plants, the plant inspector will look for a few different things. If she finds something, she lets us know so that we can correct the problem. And she also helps us to appreciate if it's an issue that we're not gonna be able to control just by ourselves. So it was pretty cool to see her, and she brought a few people with her and getting to talk to them a little bit. And it actually turned out that one of the gentlemen that she brought with her watches the channel. So that was kind of cool to meet him too. He had a lot of interesting things to share with us. It's always nice to have the inspectors around, especially when they're looking out for our best interest, because for the most part, that's what they're doing. Even though we were a little distracted, we were able to get all of the cattle taken care of. All that we have left to worry about is the chickens, but for the most part, everything's going well this morning. A little update on all the fill that we had received today. We got this area over here flattened out and graded. We got some fill pushed up into the barn, so now everything is nice and even. And we've even started moving fill out into the area where the cattle eat. We're hoping we're gonna have enough to level off this area. We're eventually gonna be putting some sort of a structure right here. So as long as we have a nice packed fill, that's gonna be no issue. It'll be nice once we can get all of this leveled off here though. We got a load of sawdust yesterday, so we're just helping Matt get it dumped in. We just gotta make sure that he doesn't take the roof off. So my job is watching to make sure that he doesn't get the back of the truck raised too high. Now what happened there?
I can't believe Daniel's on his honeymoon and he got the skid loader stuck.
I don't know why he didn't just go straight down over the hill. Why'd you turn? I don't know what he was doing. I don't know why he didn't go over straight. Oh my goodness. let's see what's gonna happen. I had it. Woo! I did it. No worries. Yeah, no worries. That wasn't even an issue. Oh man, what do I do?
I don't know.
I feel very precarious. Do I back up? Yeah, I think I get it this time. Ready? Boy, that was a little bit of a hairy situation for a minute, but no problem. We knew that skid steer loader wasn't gonna be stuck for long. I just wanted to be known that Dad got the skid steer loader stuck. Just keep that in mind. He got it stuck. Between all that fill showing up and the plant inspector being here, we've been kind of running around all over the place this morning. We haven't even got the chickens fed and the eggs collected yet. Now we are gonna start working on that. I mean, it doesn't take too much time, but something that definitely needs to be done. Should have been done an hour ago. With these new layer hens, we've been expecting the eggs to be on the smaller side, which is normal, but we've started to see some of them getting a little larger. So this might have been one of the chickens that started laying earlier on. It shouldn't take much time at all, but we've noticed they've really starting to been put down the feed, so that's a good sign. The number one thing we were looking out for was eggs being on the ground. I did not see any, which that's a good sign. If we can get all these chickens laying in the nest, it just makes collecting that much easier. There's gonna be a few too many eggs in there for me to fit them all in one basket, so I'm gonna go grab another. And that's about it, a little under a basket and a half of eggs. That's good enough for me. Before we leave the chickens for the day, I'm gonna show you something that we do for them when we have apples that we can't sell or bake with. We bring them down here and we break them open, and the chickens love pecking through them and going through all the apples. It's something we've been doing with the chickens for a few years. Anytime we have apples that we can't use, we bring them down here and the chickens go crazy for them. With that last basket of eggs being collected, that takes care of all of the animals, so they're all finished for the morning. Right when we finished, they came through and dumped another load of dirt, so Dad was taking care of that. Something I have not mentioned yet this year. Boy, fall has been beautiful. The leaves changing. The mountains have looked incredible. I think I'm more of a spring guy, summer guy, but fall, it's pretty nice. Beautiful, beautiful. So the next spot that we are gonna be working in is the potato storage. If you guys remember, this area was all cleared out. Well, now it's filled with potatoes. We've got our wagon parked in here, completely full. When I say completely full, I mean completely full of potatoes. And then we've got all these bins here. I'm not sure how many bins, but it's a lot of spuds. There's just so many potatoes. From moving all the potatoes in here, it did get a little dirty, so we're just trying to get everything cleaned out. Trying to make it look nicer. It is starting to get closer to lunch, so we felt it was a good idea before we get to that time that we bag up some potatoes. We got about 10 bags of potatoes already done, but that's where we're gonna be calling it for the morning because it is lunchtime. Today, it looks like we are having turkey sandwiches and hot turkey sandwiches. We had a big turkey for Sunday dinner. It was really, really good. And you know, you're gonna have leftovers. It is what it is. As you guys saw, once we got finished with lunch, we ended up pulling the combine out of the shop, and we've now got started with harvesting beans. Now everything should be working fine with the combine. We spent some time just making sure everything was greased. We got the head on, and thankfully the last time we used the machine was to harvest oats, which you use the same head for oats as you do for soybeans. So we're just gonna head out and check on Dad and see how things have been going. Now Matthew just wanted to grab a quick sample so that he could get everything tested. That way we can know the moisture of our beans, and we'll also be able to figure out our test weight. We were a little excited to get started with harvesting beans. We found a couple fields where they do seem to be on the drier side, but this field Dad's in right now, he is finding some beans that haven't completely ripened up. So we are finding some wet spots in the field. Nothing too major, but it will affect the amount of income you receive from the place that we take them. And if you're curious why Matt's doing this on the road, you need a level spot to do it. So Dad, what are you gonna do with the combine?
I'm just gonna park it right over here till tomorrow, and then we're gonna start cutting tomorrow. Yeah, I got somewhere where I have to be tonight, so we have 3 really nice days coming up, so we're not like in a big hurry.
Today was one of those days where Dad got the combine out and he's like, I just wanna get the combine out. I just wanna get it ready. And then he starts cutting and he doesn't stop. But today it doesn't look like he's going any further. The beans that we have here look really, really nice. Thankfully, all the beans look good. We're fortunate that we're not in a major rush and we don't have to worry about the weather. So since we can't get it done today, we'll just get started tomorrow. So how excited are you for starting with beans?
Well, I would like them a little drier, but we haven't had a freeze yet here, so they're not, there's green plants in the field, but the majority of it's ready. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it and we'll decide tomorrow.
What'd you make, 4 passes? Looks good.
Out and back.
Oh my goodness. Dad's just excited. He's ready to go, the beans aren't ready. The neighbors are all cutting, we're not cutting. It gets Dad all excited. Now that we're back at the farm, we're gonna get some pieces of equipment back in here because now we have extra room. And while the boys are doing that, I'm gonna run down and feed the cattle. It is now closing time on the farm, so we're just getting everything put away. We had a busy day altogether, but that's just how it is on the farm. Every day seems busy. As we get more into winter, it's gonna slow down quite a bit. But for now, it's crazy. It doesn't really slow down too much until we get into the new year. One thing I'd like to show you guys, look at these ram's head mushrooms. Aren't they cool? Wow. Do you like your new gift from Uncle Daniel?
Daniel.
Well, everyone, we are now home. It looks like Lauren has got a great dinner for us. Looks like we are having spaghetti. We also got some green beans and garlic bread. Ooh, you know that's gonna be a good dinner. And since we're getting ready to sit down and eat dinner, that means this is where we're gonna end the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.